Are you happy as I am? Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't able to dance. Joyce, Joy, right?
J.
J.
Yeah.
J-E-Y.
J-E-Y.
And then there is J-O-Y.
Yeah, but I go with J-E-Y.
All right.
Yeah.
The happiness and the sherehe, where does it come from? From the mother, the father?
Well, I grew up in a good home. My dad used to have this kinanda. I don't know what the one where you put the
records. Is it a saxophone?
Yes, you put those records, and they used to play Kakai Kilonzo songs, and we all used to dance growing up. And so I grew up in a happy home.
Yeah.
So I have joy from within. There are times of my life I lost it because I was in difficult seasons, but I always found my way back to myself. Yeah.
I want you to tell me a secret. I met your sister,
yes,
who is a bit calm,
yes,
a bit collected.
Yes.
But then, of all the siblings that you have, who is on your side in terms of dance, drama, sherehe? Who could that be?
I think growing up, I was very energetic. I've always been like this. This is just my personality. But I would say the one closest to me when we were growing up is my brother in UK. When we were growing up, me and him were like
Yeah.
we were out
the troublemakers.
Yeah, we're very energetic.
How do you feel today being in this country, in your home country, launching your book, telling your story?
It's amazing. Guys, this is where my story starts. Here in Kenya, in Nairobi. And just to be back where I started and to have all of you embrace me, the love that I have received. We have there were 50, 60 people here with love, taking their time. I could not be more grateful, Jagero. Even our connection, how everything has lined up. It feels so good. I feel so blessed. I feel so honored. And I am thankful to everyone here.
I think one of the things that a lot of people should learn from you is the power, is the ability to fight and win. When we met at the restaurant the other day and we were a bit panicked and wondering whether this event is going to happen, you came with your sister. I don't know whether the sister is here. I think we should clap for her. What is her name?
Faith.
Faith. We should clap for Faith because Faith is the one that has been holding your hand a lot when you are here and making sure that everything happens. But what I like about you is the spirit of fighting.
Yes.
You told me that you're gonna give your 110%.
Yes.
And when we were here checking out the room, we looked at each other when we were on the other side, and we said that. And then when I was in church on Sunday, you told me you should pray for me for this event to be a success.
Yes.
So thank you very much for bringing in all of us here today.
Yes.
And to do this, by the way, do you need water to drink?
I could use some water. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think she needs water to drink. Can somebody give her a glass of water? But the question I want to ask you, now we want to go to the book.
Yes, please.
And for a very short time, we're just gonna, because people are tired, we're just gonna do a little bit of 3-4 questions, and then we call it an evening. So I want to go back to the book for people who have read it.
Yes.
So you talk about the user manual.
Yes.
You talk about Joyce writes that we often play life using someone else's strategy because it is easier than forging our own path. In which areas of your life are you currently, doing that? What do you tell people that do not want to use other people's manual? Like the gentleman was saying that he has never seen somebody getting on an event 4 times in different clothing. That is your own manual, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so why do you think that is important for each and every person to do, to be your own person?
Yeah, I feel like there were seasons in my life, like I felt like I had to conform and follow manuals or things that the society or the community or the family expects of me, whether they worked for me or not. And sometimes when we do that, we are not living our authentic self. We are not our best self because we are trying to be something we are not. But when you just be you, just be your authentic self, embrace yourself. We are all different, we are all beautiful, we are all have different gifts. It's important to know your purpose. I spent the whole of last year praying for God to show me my purpose. Why am I here? And once you know your purpose, why you're here, and there's alignment, and everything just flows. So I think when we try to live and have check boxes and follow someone else's manual, for example, I might see, I live in the US, there are so many people there who are nurses. When I got to the US, a lot of people told me, you should change your field and go to nursing. That's where money is. Everybody's in nursing, they're never gonna accept you in corporate America, in finance, but in nursing, they don't care where you're from, you're still gonna get a job. And I said, no, I will not. And I remember a very good friend of mine, she kept persisting and persuading me and even begging me to do nursing. But I knew that's not what I love to do. I could have easily just gone with that manual and her manual because it worked for her and done nursing. But I stood my ground and I said, it might take a long time to get a corporate job in accounting and finance, but I'm not going to give up on my dream, on my own manual to follow yours, because I'm not going to be my full self. I can't even give it 100% or 110 because that's not my calling. I'm a numbers person. And yes, it took a while, but I eventually landed on a corporate accounting job.
Yeah. I want to talk about rejection that you talked about. You talk about rejection as protection.
Yes.
And you talk about your friendship with Dan.
Yes.
You realize that rejection is not only direction, but it's also protection.
Yes.
What does this teach us about, because even the last time we were at the podcast,
Yes.
I was wondering whether, because you've had a lot of people saying that a man and a woman cannot just be friends.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
But reading your book and the story of you and Dan and the friendship that you guys have developed, what do you think about friendship as a whole, generally?
I think friendship, as long as there are no secrets, it's an open book. I cannot have, if I had a romantic best friend, I cannot say this person is my best friend, yet my partner does not know who this person is. It doesn't work like that. So I feel like it is okay to have platonic relationships. And I've had 2 very healthy platonic relationships. And there were no secrets. There were no secrets. In one of them, I was dating, and in the other, actually, in both of them, I was dating. But there were no secrets. This is my friend. We grew up together. There's respect. There's love. There's value. And my partner, my boyfriend at that time, knew about it. So I think it's very possible. You just have to have healthy boundaries and nothing you're hiding from your spouse or your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you used to have this fear of uncertainty.
Yeah.
What is behind the other door?
Yes.
But for some reason, you learned how to deal with it.
Yes.
Talking to the audience today, how do they learn to deal with uncertainty?
Well, believing in yourself is one thing, and then always knowing there's something on the other side of the door. Sometimes fear holds us back. We stay in jobs we don't like. We stay in relationships that are not working. We take on careers, and we're just experiencing life of things we don't like. But sometimes I feel like if we just take a step with faith, right? I'm a Christian, so I was throwing God there. But with faith, and you work hard, and just courage.
Yeah.
I think courage has pushed me through being open. I'm always open. I don't go with much expectations. I meet you, I have an open mind. I'm always curious. So you might not know what's going on the other side, but be curious. It could be something good. Be curious. Yeah.
You say that I'm no longer interested in helping people heal.
Yes.
That's not my role anymore. It's a bold statement to say.
So So when I say helping people, it's okay to help people, right? Nobody got here by themselves. I didn't get here by myself. I am referring where you become the person who everyone calls when they need a therapist. Yet you're not a therapist. you're the person anyone with problems comes to, whether it's financial or emotional support. And I was very good in just pouring into people, even when they don't pour into me. So you become empty. You become very empty. Nobody is pouring into you. But when you have healthy, quality relationships where you're both pouring into each other, that's fine. But I can tell you there were seasons in my life I was just collecting broken wings. Like if someone had
you told me about broken wings.
Yes, yes, and that's not healthy. I'm not here to fix anyone. We all have to fix ourselves. You come to me when you're healthy. I come to you when I'm healthy, and we have a quality friendship or relationship if that's what we choose to have. You can't fix anyone who doesn't want to be fixed.
Yes.
Yeah.
As we finish, you talk about Bacanomics. You remember that one? Yeah. You describe the steadfastness in your anchoring and people, believing in themselves and building themselves and helping themselves. As a human being, how far do we go in helping others? Do we show them the way? Do you give them the fish net so that they can go and fish themselves? Or do you give them the fish?
No, we are not giving anybody any fish, guys. You have to protect yourself. We guide them. We give them guidance, like my mentees. We can have conversations about money or about relationships, but I let them make their own decisions. So we are here to guide people. Sometimes when you keep giving somebody the fish, they'll never stand on their own, and I feel like there were seasons where I had very bad relationships with my money and, time and money. If I could go back, I think I could use my time and my resources better, not just giving it away without. How healthy is it when you're giving away everything you have and you have nothing left for yourself?
That can be difficult, I think. Writing the book, what was the process of writing it? And how long did it take you to write the book?
Yeah, it took me 4 years to write this book. This book has been in my vision board for 4 years. And at the end of the year, I would not have it completed. I would just, the next year, the next vision board, I would put it in there until, the 4th year, I was able to finish it. The process was, I didn't have a process. So when I started writing a book, I didn't have a publisher, I didn't have an editor, I just had an idea. I wanted to be a story in my family tree. I didn't want to be just a name. My dad did an amazing job telling us the names of our ancestors up to 7 generations deep, but I didn't have their stories. I wanted my children to have my stories and generations I might never meet, to not just know my name was Joyce Mutani Wambua Osborne, but to know my stories. How did I deal with love and relationships? How did I deal with career? How did I deal with, raising my kids? All those are stories that years when I'm gone, generations down the line will know about me. But I didn't know what I was doing. And that's why, like I say, let's all write our stories. We don't have to have everything figured out. Write your stories. Write, just begin. I used to have voice notes. So my voice notes helped me. I have like a voice diary, which I've had maybe for like 10 years. So that came in handy. So if you want to write a book, you don't have to start with writing. You can start with voice notes. And you don't have to have it all figured out. As you learn as you go, and God opens doors as you go. Look at how we got to connect. I didn't know this was going to happen. I believed in myself. I worked hard. I did what I was supposed to be doing, and just doors kept opening.
A lot of people in the audience would be having their books written in their heads.
Yes.
But they will want to come into a hall like this. They will want to learn the process of writing. What do you think if somebody came and asked you, what is that one thing that really surprised you in the journey of your writing? Just from writing, from editing, from printing, and from trying your first launch in the United States and doing another launch back home.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that surprised me with how emotional writing a memoir can be it's like undressing yourself. You're telling stories that maybe nobody ever knew about. But I had said to myself, if I was going to write my story, it was going to be honest, it was going to be the truth, and I was ready to be vulnerable. But how did I get to that place where I can write my truth? It's through healing. Healing through my traumas, healing through some of the things I went through with my relationships, and anything else that I might be struggling with. When you're in a healed place, there's nothing you cannot write about. Like there's nothing someone can ask me in my book that I cannot answer, because I've healed from all that. Launching the book in the US, it was amazing. The same thing, Jagero, I have to tell you, I have a lot of people who believe in me and who support me and who just come through for me. Do you know, for this event, even the ticket price was half the price. Do you know who covered the other half? Sponsors, my friends. They said, we are gonna pour resources into your book launch because they believe in me. You know, most of them wanted to be anonymous. They didn't even want, you don't have to mention my name, but they were sending their resources, you know, for this to be a success. The one lady, Brenda, she has an accounting firm, but most of them, they're like, Jay. And they sponsored my event in the US too. So I have good relationships, people support me, and I try to give everything 110%. That God gives me an opportunity to. If God gives me an opportunity, I'm going to give it 110%.
Thank you very much for us from Kenya, your family. I think all we have for you is a lot of love.
Yes.
Please, let's give her a round of applause again. And we love you so much.
Oh, thank you. I feel it.
All right. And people of the internet, that's what I usually say.
People of the internet.
Yes, thank you very much. It was lovely having you guys. And until another one.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Bye for now. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.